Hi all, welcome to the second video in the weather series that we're going to be looking at, and into this video we're going to be looking at air masses. Now, what are air masses? Now, simply put, they're large masses of air, but more specifically, they're large masses of air that share similar characteristics. And depending on which of these air masses is the dominant one in the sky at any given point, it can have a really profound impact on what the weather is like at any given point in time. The UK is also in a fairly unique situation in that we have 5 different air masses that jostle for position in the sky, and that can result in the really changeable weather that we experience. Now, what determines what type of weather an air mass brings? Well, it's where the air masses came from. And we split air masses up into 2 sections. Are they wet or dry, and then are they hot or cold? Now first, wet and dry is determined by, has that air mass been in a continental area? Has it been over the top of land? In which case it will be called continental, or it will be dry. Or has it been in a maritime area? Has it been over the sea? In which case it's going to be wet. Now the other side of it, is it warm or cold? If it comes from near the equator, we refer to them as tropical, and it means that they're going to be warmer. And if they're coming from more, in our case, northerly latitudes, we call them polar or arctic, and they're going to be cooler. So let's think about the air masses that actually have an impact on the UK. Now, as I say, there's 5 of them, and we'll go through them one at a time and talk about where they come from and what type of weather they can bring here. So first, the tropical maritime air mass. So it comes from the tropical Atlantic. It brings warm and wet weather in the summer, and in the winter it brings mild and wet weather. And it usually gives us southwesterly winds. Now this is a relatively common air mass for the UK. It's the kind of weather that we experience quite frequently. Next, we've got tropical continental. Now this comes from more or less over the Sahara. It brings us very hot and dry weather in the summer, and it can only affect the UK in the summer, but sadly it is also the least common air mass that we experience here. Our next air mass, polar maritime. So if tropical maritime came from the tropical Atlantic, polar maritime comes from the northern, much colder Atlantic. It brings cool, wet and dull weather. The winds it brings tend to be west or northwesterly, and this is the weather you all know and love. It's the most common air mass that we experience here. Next, the polar continental air mass. Now this comes roughly from Siberia. It brings very cold but very dry weather in winter, and in the summer it brings warmer, dry weather as well. Now finally, our last air mass, our Arctic maritime. It comes from Norway, Greenland, and it brings very cold, wet weather, reasonably common throughout the winter, very similar obviously to the polar maritime air mass as well. Now that's going to wrap us up here. As I did say, this would be a short video. Join me in the next video when we're going to start to look at the first weather system, which is depressions. And I'll see you guys then.